Welcome to the deep dive.
Hi there.
Today, we're digging into something crucial if you travel a lot. The Ryoko Pro portable Wi-Fi router.
Right.
We're separating the marketing hype from, well, the reality. You need to know if this device actually delivers that seamless global connection it promises.
Yeah, and the claims are pretty bold looking at our sources. Ryoko says it's a compact travel hotspot fast secure internet in over 100 countries. Pitched is super simple, plug and play.
And it connects multiple devices.
Up to 10, they claim, with speeds up to 150 megabits per second.
Okay, and battery life.
An 8-hour battery life, supposedly.
All right, first things first. We did the basic legitimacy check. The website, GetRyoko.com.
It's HTTPS secured, yep.
And the parent company, UAB Echo Pro, they're based in Lithuania, not hiding.
True. But that Scam Advisor score, it's only moderate, like 60 to 70%.
Which isn't terrible, but it's not exactly glowing either, is it? It makes you wonder what's pulling that down already.
Well, it kind of points to the mixed bag we found. But if you look just at reviews linked directly to the seller, like on Pollock,
What do they say?
thousands of reviews there, average 4.2 out of 5 stars. People saying, quick delivery, easy setup, works out of the box.
So the convenience factor seems real, at least initially.
That's what people seem happy with, yeah.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because when you look elsewhere, like independent sites, SiteJabber, for instance.
Oh, yeah, that story flips completely.
The rating just tanks down to 2.7 stars. And the complaints, they seem to zero in on the money side of things.
Exactly. It's not so much the little box itself, it's the data. That's the biggest conflict point.
How so?
Well, many customers felt they were buying a device with an unlimited or lifetime data plan included. That was the impression.
But that wasn't the case.
Nope. After they bought it, they discovered they had to purchase separate data packages, often country-specific.
And more expensive than expected.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Far higher costs than they anticipated. It feels a bit like those, subscription traps we see elsewhere.
So how are they hiding that? Is it deep in the fine print or?
Seems more like unclear disclosures before you pay, combined with some pretty aggressive upselling after the initial purchase.
And it gets worse, right? The unlimited plans.
Yeah, even if you buy the unlimited option, users reported it gets throttled, like slowed down dramatically after maybe just a gigabyte or two.
So unlimited, but not really.
Unlimited in name only, basically.
And what about the performance, that 150 millips speed claim?
Similar pattern. Users say speeds rarely get close to that. And the global coverage, it totally depends on local cell networks.
Meaning, okay, in a big city, maybe?
Maybe. But head out to a rural area or somewhere remote. Performance drops off a cliff. Sometimes it's unusable.
Right. Okay, so connecting the dots, we looked at some tech forums, like Reddit too.
And there's a strong suggestion, backed by some cross-referencing of specs and FCC IDs, that the Ryoko is essentially just a standard, generic 4G hotspot. Something you could buy elsewhere, probably for less.
So the hardware isn't fake, it works, but
the premium price, that's for the Ryoko branding and this promise of easy global setup. That's what feels misleading to people.
And getting money back.
Also a common complaint. Difficulty getting refunds once they figure out the real data costs.
Okay, so let's synthesize this for you, the traveler. What's the main takeaway?
Well, it seems you do get a real product. It works.
But you should probably view it as a basic travel hotspot. Handy for, checking email, quick map lookups, maybe an emergency.
Right. Not your go-to for streaming movies or heavy work, especially if you leave major cities. Don't expect a magic solution.
So it really comes down to a final thought for you to consider.
Yeah, think about this. The device works, okay, but you have to buy these extra data plans, which might be pricey, and the signal might fail you in remote spots.
Does that complexity, that potential extra cost, actually cancel out the convenience of just skipping a local SIM card when you land?
That calculation, it really depends on where you're going and just how much internet you actually plan to use. Something to mull over.